Hi everybody, welcome to Cooking on Gas with High Service. My name's Garth and secretly I'm a chef, so we thought we'd show you how to cook on gas with high service. Okay, so for our first recipe we'll be doing the humble Scotch egg, which is a lovely meal, and you can even pop it in your lunchbox should you wish. So what you'll need for it is some pork sausages. We've got them in the casing, some chives, some sage, and then we have a few little odds and ends to add to it, a little bit of mustard, some salt, pepper, and a bit of nutmeg, just to give it a little bit more flavor. But remember, you don't want to overdo it, as the pork sausage would already have flavoring into it. I've just put my oil on. I'm starting to bring it up to temperature, and let's get cracking. So before we start, I've got the oil on and I'm getting it to about a medium-high sort of temperature. I know it's gas, so sometimes it's a bit hard to gauge. Would be about 150 degrees, but what we're going to do a little bit later is we'll just take a bit of the breadcrumbs, we'll drop it in, and when it starts bubbling, you know you're good to go to start frying. So onto the pork sausages. Just got myself a bowl. I'm going to simply cut the pork sausages so that I can remove the casing and squeeze all that juicy and delicious meat out. And yes, let's get your hands dirty time. Just remember, another way you can do this is you can grab a pair of scissors and quite simply cut the casing with a pair of scissors if you don't want to use a knife. Or perhaps a young one is helping you in the kitchen. And I have to just say one thing. It's a beautiful day at the office. We're on the banks of the Lourensford River in our makeshift kitchen. And what it does show you is how versatile gas is. You can do it anywhere, anytime, families and friends, all together, having a bit of fun with food. Right. So now that our pork is in the bowl, let's add some flavor to it. Okay, so our pork's in the bowl. Hands are clean. Let's get chopping. So what I've done is I'm just going to take some chives, and again, another way to do chives is you can use a pair of scissors too, and we can cut them in. Should we do it? Why not? Remember, this is not a perfect cut. It's going into the meat. It's going to be just for the flavor side. It's not for the decoration side, so it doesn't matter if it's a bit rustic. After all, we're in the middle of nowhere. And again, you can add as much or as little as you would like, just purely on your taste. So I've added some chives to it. I've got some sage, but the sage I'm going to chop up with a knife. I just want to get it a little bit finer than I would normally with the chives, because sage can be quite a strong flavor. So then all we do is we roll it up nicely into a little ball, and let's get chopping. Doesn't have to, again, it doesn't have to be too fine. It's just for the flavor side of it that we're looking for. Right, sage is in. After that, I'm just going to take a little bit of salt, not too much. Remember, there is a bit of flavor in there, so let's put some salt on that. And then we have some normal white pepper. I like white pepper. Obviously, in certain dishes it brings out a bit of flavor, so we can use that. And then I have some English mustard. Be careful if you don't like it too hot. I'm going to add about a half a teaspoon into here. If you want it hotter, go wild. And then I've got whole nutmeg, which you can use. If you only have the ground nutmeg, it really and truly isn't a problem. But let's give it a grate and see what happens. And again, nutmeg's very, very strong, so just use a little bit. Right, nutmeg done. Salt and pepper's in, so you'll have some sort of a concoction like this. Now it's the messy time. Get in there, get in with your hands. Don't be afraid. Have some fun and do it like kneading dough. Because all we want to do is spread the flavor right round, so that when we encase our beautiful eggs, that delicious flavor will be everywhere. Okay, messy hands and all, that's what you got. Okay, so now that we are with camera magic, got clean hands, just something we were observing is, you'll see normally people are moaning about flies on their food. Being in the bush, we have wasps today, so good old yellow jacket wasps. Okay, so we've got our pork meat ready. We're going to set that one side. We're just going to clear off our odds and ends, and then we're going to be making a little production line. And basically what we're going to do first up is, I'm going to take some eggs that I've already previously boiled. I put them in cold water. I brought them up to the boil for about 5 minutes. Obviously, if you want a runny egg, you can do it, towards your timing. If you wanted a harder egg, you can do it for longer. But just remember that the egg will still cook once it's encased in the sausage meat. And I know some people struggle to peel the eggs. There's 2 methods. You can perhaps check it on YouTube. There's a guy that makes a hole, and he actually blows and the whole egg comes out. I didn't do that today. I just took mine on running water. Underneath a bit of running water, lets the membrane loose, and it's far easier to peel your eggs. Just remember, once you've boiled your eggs, put them into a nice bowl of cold water to stop them from cooking further. Otherwise, then they will be obviously cooked a bit further than you want them to be. So we're going to take our sausage. There's different ways of doing it. You can divide it into how many eggs you have, or you can simply grab a handful and we're going to wrap it around the egg. We don't want it too thick, but we just want it to cover the egg, so that when we've coated it and cooked it, it's nice and crispy and delicious inside. Just remember, this is not a perfection game. Sometimes a chip of the egg is going to come off and you're going to lose a bit of white. Have that as a snack while you're doing it. It's okay. We forgive you. So first things first, I have a little bit of flour, and all I want to do now is take my eggs and I want to dust them in flour to keep them nice and dry. Just a quick little coat, literally lightly like that. And then I'm going to start encasing them in the pork sausage meat that we've created together. Quick little tip, it gets quite sticky. So what we do is we just take a little bit of water and we just wet our hands roughly, just a tiny bit, just so the sausage meat doesn't stick as much to your hands. Take the egg, we're going to take some sausage meat, encase it around the egg. And guys, remember, this is not an exact science. All we want to do is create a nice little thin layer around the egg, just so that it cooks correctly. We don't want these jumbo-sized soccer balls running around your kitchen. Just small enough to coat the egg. You can simply weigh it, but it's really no need for that. Just carry on and feel food with your hands. So into our trusty makeshift tap we've got over here, we dry the other hand, and I'm going to grab sort of pretty much an egg-sized bit of mince, or should I say pork sausage meat. I'm going to take the egg and ask the wasps to leave me alone. And then I'm going to literally go right around the egg. And it's going to take you a while to get there. Once you've encased it, you start getting a bit more of a better idea. And no, we're not playing cricket with these, okay? So I don't want to see any white of the egg. And you can always grab a tiny little more sausage meat should there be an area you're a bit worried about. And that's that. But what I would suggest first is do all your sausage meat around the eggs as in the production line, because after this we're going to be dipping them in some beaten eggs and then we're going to be crumbing them. So to wash your hands and do these steps in between is quite a long process. So just do them all at the same time. Life's easy. Right, next one. Should it be wet enough? I don't know. Right, on to the next one. So I've got some sausage meat again. My egg into my flour, that step that I don't want to forget. And guys, I'm having fun with the wasps. Just dust it off so that there's not too much excess flour. I'm using large free range eggs today, just purely for the nutrition and more value that it gives us for our bodies. But at the same time, you can use extra large. It's not the end of the world. You just might have those soccer balls that we've been talking about for a bit. So right. Number 2 is done. Oh no, it's not. Still peeping through. Okay, easy peasy. 2 off the cards. Just want to wet my hand again. I just have to say though, the versatility of gas has really changed the market, the home market, especially now with all of the power outages. It makes life so much easier. Now you know, you've got a gas stove. Yes, you might have a battery powered light, but you can still cook. You can see the large chunks of sage and chives. It all adds to the flavor. Okay, so I've wet my hands. I've got my sausage meat ready to go. I have my egg dipped in flour. And guys, look, I'm only going to make 4 just to show you how the process is done. The recipe does cater for 8, but obviously you can double up and you can cut down as you wish, because I know all family sizes are very, very different. So let's get this one going, make it look all beautiful. And then we go to the next step, which is our little crumbing conveyor belt. And what we'll be doing is dipping it in a bit of egg, and then we'll go through the breadcrumbs, and then guess what? It's delicious time. So before we begin, I just have to tell you about this special board in front of me. This board is from a show called Cooked in Africa with Justin Bonello, and I shot that show with him for years and years and years. I can't even tell you the places and the memories that this board has for me. So it's special being here today with this board to share it with you. But let's move to the serious business. We've got our pork balls, which, by the way, should you not eat pork, just use some beef sausage. It's really not the end of the world. You'll just get a different flavor. That's it. So we're going to take them and we're going to coat them just in a wee bit of egg. Remember, I said you try and get that production process. While those are done, we're going from the 1. And then we've got some Panko breadcrumbs over here, which I'm just coating lightly. We just want to make sure that everything is nice and coated. And guys, honestly, if you have normal white breadcrumbs, that's not a problem at all. You can still use them. And now I'm just trying to make sure that everything is nicely coated. So white breadcrumbs are perfect. But can I tell you the next secret? If you don't have those, the other way to do it is go grab your good old-fashioned Kellogg's cornflakes in the cupboard, stick them in a bag with a rolling pin, knock them around, make them small, and that is also a good way. And something that I've also done in the past previously a couple of times is Provitas, believe it or not. Same process, put them in a bag, just knock them around a bit, and they make the most beautiful crumbs. So you've got many, many options in terms of crumbs. Today I'm using the Panko, just because I wanted to see the nice light crispy bits. So you can see it's quite a quick process. And honestly, if you make these the night before, you can make the sausage balls, put them in the fridge, and then the next morning, crack 2 eggs, put them in a bowl, and then you can carry on with the rest of the frying process, and you've got yourself a nice, beautiful, warm, protein breakfast. This wasp really likes this. Okay. Last ball. Or should I say pork golden nugget. That's what we are hoping to achieve today. Okay, my oil is up. I'm going to have a little squiz quickly. As I said, about a medium-high heat. You know, you don't want the outside to go brown too quickly, and then you have raw sausage in the middle, but you also don't want very saturated or unfriendly looking balls. So I'm going to take the Scotch eggs crumbs. I'm just going to throw one in quick just to see what we get. Got some light bubbles. So I reckon in about a minute or two, we can start frying. Okay, boys and girls, clean up time. Get rid of the mess. Our temperature's up to the perfect degree. Let's get cooking. What I have also is a slotted spoon. So you can take your Scotch egg, pop it in nicely, and let's get frying. Okay. You can hear it. It's like snack crackle pops. So about 4 to 5 minutes is what we're looking for. That nice golden crust. And then a good old South African favorite will come into hand. Mrs. Balls Chutney. Pork and chutney always go together very well. So we've just got 2 more to go. And let's pop them in. You can see the oil sizzling perfectly. You see what I mean by about like a medium high. And it's just going to cook that perfectly, just nicely. Just also please remember, don't fill your oil too much, because obviously you have the risk of then it overboiling. So you want just enough to cover these eggs. You can always flip them around. That's not the end of the world. You just want to get it nice and crispy and golden and delicious. Okay, so what we're going to do now is our beautiful, beautiful golden brown Scotch eggs are ready. And they've been in for about 5 minutes, I would say. Just depends on your heat. I'm just going to drain them on some kitchen paper. The other 2 still have a little minute to go. So I'm just going to drain it quickly. Give those a little flip. And I think maybe in half a second, I'll be brave enough to cut it. Or should we just try it hot? Okay. Let's just do it hot. So just dabbing it a little bit, feeling it. Sounds beautifully and crispy. But what I think we should do with it is, as we said, the South African Mrs. Balls Chutney. Let's get some ready for the tasting. Okay, so sounds crispy. The moment of truth for our golden Scotch eggs. Just give it a little cut and have a look inside. And guess what? We're cooked perfectly. I'm not entirely sure how everybody likes their eggs, but you can see it's delicious. The pork meat's cooked and there's that crisp to it. I'm going to try one. It's absolutely delicious, even if I do say so myself. Thank you very much for joining us with a mouthful of food. I'm hoping that you guys look forward to the rest of our series. Stay tuned, watch our social media, and let's get cooking.